Jacket from store number 9 is the slowest one of them away. The blue jacket off to the left, Dubai Mirage and Andret Zeni, who was the first to post, leads in the early strides. Off to the right in maroon colours is Random Harvest, and between those Takarib Bay and the yellow jacket comes next. The favourite Saga is on the extreme right at the moment. A grey horse races alongside Coes in white and red colours. In ahead of those in the beige jacket is Tempus, he's off to the left. Power of Darkness is the one pulling for his head right in the centre, red sleeve jacket. He's just ahead now of Bo Pedro. Repertoire is one from the left at the moment, a mainly white jacket, and Atrium with 2 wins on this course already to his name. The light blue jacket with Jamie Spencer is at the back of the field. They're just about now at the halfway stage, and Dubai Mirage continues to have a narrow advantage over Random Harvest running in second. Takarib Bay about a length behind those showing in third. Off to the left, Tempus, Hollie Doyle getting closer all the time. Off to the right is Saga, the Scarlet Sleeves in 5th place. Power of Darkness and Repertoire behind these to Bo Pedro, and Atrium is the back marker as they head down to the 2 marker. And it's still Dubai Mirage being taken on by Random Harvest and also Tempus on the left. Takarib Bay is still with those. Saga comes up next. Atrium on the extreme left is launched with his challengers now. Hollie Doyle on Tempus. Tempus goes on. Random Harvest in second. Takarib Bay behind this, and then comes Dubai Mirage inside the final 100 yards. It's the top 8, Tempus and Hollie Doyle, clear by 2 lengths and win. Second place will be close with Takarib Bay maybe only third behind Random Harvest, who might have got second, and Atrium behind those was Bo Pedro.
Well, Kevin, you got the result right, you got the tactics wrong, so we'll give you a 50, half a gold star there.
She's given that a peach, hasn't she, Alex?
She has.
We definitely weren't cursing her after 100 yards for taking back.
And it was quite a change of tactics for this horse.
It was, because they didn't seem to go that quick. We saw some of the early on-screen sectionals were very tepid for the type of race we're in, and he did take quite a grip, but not nearly as strong a grip as some of those in behind, and Hollie just edged them in, edge, and when she asked for full effort, his response was quite immediate, and you could have called off the fight here, Alex. He had a little wonder in the closing stages, but he quickly put this race to bed, and it's just deserved really, because, you know, to run so well in the Hunt Cup, you know, deserves a big win, and to come back here and do it. And now 2 from 3 at Ascot. They'll be back again, I suspect.
Yeah, loves it, doesn't he, here at Ascot, the straight track as well. And you were both right about the favourite Saga. Went out like a light, really. Travelled okay, but just didn't find.
No, and I suppose he was probably a little too handy in that race. He likes to be dropped out, doesn't he? He was right there behind the pace, and look, there was no pace on, really, and therefore, you know, young Benoit was a little bit in no man's land, and the race just didn't unfold to his liking.
No, it wasn't to be for him, and actually your selection, Dubai Mirage, did what we thought Tempus would do. Yeah,
exactly. I thought Andrea, I suppose he had to make the run because he was left in front. Hollie Doyle had the handbrake on pretty much on this fella, and nothing came from off the pace. Andrea had his own way in front. He's run a good race, but he just wasn't good enough here today.
We've been talking about pedigrees all day, Alex. What about this horse's pedigree? By Kingman out of Passage of Time, who, when Henry Cecil was really in the doldrums, wasn't Passage of Time the one that brought him back to the Group 1 winners enclosure? And as a broodmare, she's, you know, subsequently thrown time tests as well as this fella. Proper Judmont breeding here.
Was it not Light Shift with Ted Durkin winning the Oaks?
That was definitely one of the comeback ones. I think this one Passage of Time might have won a Group 1 as a 2-year-old abroad. Possibly, I could be wrong, it's a long time ago.
She did, you're absolutely right. She won the Criterium de Saint-Cloud in 2006 for Sir Henry Cecil, with Richard Hughes in the saddle. Beat Soldier of Fortune that day, Kevin.
Yeah, you see, I was only a pup at the time.
Anyway, this Tempus didn't go to the sales in October 2019. They kept hold of him then, but he was picked up in September 21 for just 25,000 guineas. What a buy. He's just won over 32 here, Jamie and Jim.
Yeah, and just picking up on the pedigree point, of course, he carried the colours of Khaled Abdullah of Judmont and was trained by Roger Charlton. I remember when this horse was favourite for the 2020 Cambridgeshire. He looked a real up-and-comer then, missed the entirety of 2021, and another great job done by Archie Watson. Think of what Glenn Shield did after transfer in these colours. But the start, Jim, it didn't go to plan. A few races today, big races as well, haven't gone to plan with the pace projection. Tempus, we both thought, Kevin thought, would be not just the leader, but the lone leader. Different strategy today on Tempus.
Yeah, but she did manage to get it to wagon him, to get him in behind, and to some extent he's relaxed, and obviously he saved energy, and I didn't expect him to win quite so decisively, but he did.
A few telltale signs about the pace. Number one is you see them sectionals on the bottom left, but the other one is look at the riders' body language. There are various horses going freely, none more so than Power of Darkness, who's buried in the middle but just isn't dropping the bridle at all. Course was something similar, and the steady pace in many ways has just done a disservice to Atrium to some extent. Was there enough in the finish of Atrium just to think, Jim, that maybe you'd still stick with him, developing 3-year-old Ascot? We know the answer. You've answered that.
A bit of a cliff, I think, with that one.
You've answered that with your hesitation. But we did have hesitation beforehand about Saga for all the reasons that we outlined. Not the Britannia, but what resulted in the position in the Britannia and indeed the previous record. And I don't know what needs to be done with Saga, but it'll take all of Jonathan Thady Gosden's skill to get this horse channeling his energy and his application right.
Yeah, let's not forget he did take a hefty ride, which to some extent has been offset by Benoit de la Sayette's claim. But, it was a disappointing effort. Some promise, though, for Bo Pedro. Jamie, for making his debut for David O'Mara, runs on well to make the frame, having been nearly last. So that was an encouraging start for him.
An encouraging start for him. But this is the first year of this handicap that it hasn't been restricted to 3-year-olds. And a horse double that age, Tempus, with the Archie Watson makeover under the motivator and generator Hollie Doyle, has won at 9-2.
Yeah, this is the motivator and generator. We like that. I think we're going to use that tagline. It certainly works, and she's exceptionally effective. Hollie coming back in on Tempus, a blue-blooded horse who's won this Porsche handicap in style. And we'll get some reaction from Hollie shortly.